have a seat, everyone. It's good to see you here today. Before I get started, I'd like to invite any younger friends that would like to come up and sit closer. There's some seats here, there's some seats there, because there's some things that I have some important questions for you that I want to ask you. You want to sit right there? Catherine, can you sit with her? Thank you. Thank you, thank you. It is good to see everyone here today on such a rainy day. Good for you for braving the rain to be here, right? So I've got a couple of questions. My first question is for anybody that wants to answer it. I'm wondering what it is that you are looking forward to. It can be something that you're looking forward to this week or something you're looking forward to this coming year. What's something you're looking forward to? Just shout it out. Catherine? My ninth birthday. Woohoo! All right. It's pretty close, isn't it? When is it? In about 3 months. So that's coming right up. Anything else that anyone's looking forward to? Grandparents' Day. That's one of my favorites, too. I love Grandparents' Day. Anyone else? Anything you're looking forward to that's coming up, either pretty soon or... Whose birthday? Yeah, your birthday. When's your birthday? Tuesday. So yours is coming right up. It is right around the corner. So this is a question that is probably for the younger friends that are sitting in the room. Anyone can answer. But this question is, what are you looking forward to when you grow up? What are you looking forward to when you get older? I mean, anyone is free to answer. I do not define. Catherine? Being an engineer. That is something to look forward to when you grow up. Anything else? It could be anything at all that you're looking forward to when you grow up. Anybody? So I want to tell you that when I was younger than I am now, that one of the things I just looked forward to was being older. And the reason I wanted to be older was so that I could tell other people what to do. Right? I mean, I was the oldest child in my family, so I did do some of that, I'll admit. I practiced on my younger brothers and sisters. But I wanted to grow up so I could tell other people what to do. Because as a kid, and tell me if you've ever felt like this, as a kid, I felt like everyone was always telling me what to do. Raise your hand if you ever felt that way as a kid, right? Do you ever, yeah, Mabel says for sure. I feel like other people tell me what to do. So here's a secret you may not know. Even adults, I saw some adults raising their hands, even adults can sometimes feel like they're being told what to do by other people. So adults, raise your hands if you still sometimes feel like people are telling you what to do. Yeah. So the bad news is you can't grow out of that. There's always someone who is trying to tell you what to do. So the problem is, with lots of people telling us what to do all the time, it's really hard to figure out who to listen to, right? Because we can't and we actually shouldn't listen to everything everyone tells us to do. So in the Bible story you heard a couple of minutes ago, the people in that story were wondering that exact same thing. They were wondering who it is they should listen to. There were lots of people telling them what to do, and sometimes they weren't the same things, and they were wondering who they should listen to. So in the story, there was a man named John. How many of you have ever heard of John? John the Baptist. There's a man named John who is one of the people that is telling people how to get closer to God. And there are people who want to figure that out, who need help figuring out how to get closer to God. But John isn't the only one that's saying that. There are other people that are saying the same thing. They're saying, we know how to get closer to God. You should listen to us. We know how to get closer to God. You should listen to us. So it was hard for the people in the story to know who to listen to. I wonder, who do you listen to when you need help? Who Who's someone that you listen to? Anybody can answer. Who's someone you listen to when you need help? Right there. Who do you listen to? You listen to who? So you listen to your friends at school when you need help. That's good. Catherine? You listen to your brother. Sometimes we listen to our brothers and sisters. Is your brother older or younger than you? So you listen to your older brother. My brothers and sisters never listened to me. I was older, but they didn't listen. Anyone else? Who do you listen to? Anybody? So we listen to our friends? You listen to Scott. We're not going to do a raise hands to see who listens to Scott. But you listen to people that you think know something, right? That think that they know something that you don't know and that they can help you. That is really important. So Jesus, in our story, Jesus was one of the people who was also beginning to talk to people about how to get closer to God. And here's a funny thing. John, even though his cousin John was doing the same thing, John wanted to listen to what Jesus had to say. And then John started telling other people that they should listen to what Jesus had to say too. Because John knows that Jesus is the Son of God. How many of you remember Christmas? Remember Christmas? It wasn't that long ago. And what was one of the things at church that we celebrated at Christmas? Baby Jesus. We celebrated baby Jesus being born. Well, now Jesus has grown up, and he's going around starting to talk to people about God. But when John's friends go to Jesus, Jesus doesn't talk about God right away. First, Jesus asks them a question. And here's the question Jesus asked. Jesus asked people, "What are you looking for?" And then you know what he does after he asks the question? He listens. He listens to hear what they want to say. Who listens to you when you need to talk about something? Who's a good listener? Who listens to you? Your mama listens to you when you need to talk, when you need someone to talk to. Catherine? Your brother listens to you when you need someone to talk to. So it's really important to have people that will listen to us. But oftentimes we're the ones that are told that it's very important to be good listeners. How many of you have ever been told you need to be a better listener? Right? It can be hard to be a good listener. People are always telling us we need to be good listeners. But it's also important to have someone who will listen to you. So Jesus asks questions because he really wants to hear what people have to say. And the people in our Bible story today have a question for Jesus too. They ask Jesus this question. They say, "Teacher, where are you staying?" They know that Jesus is an important teacher because John tells them that. But they want to know more about Jesus before they decide whether or not to listen to him. What they want to know from Jesus is this. They want to know how close Jesus is to God. How close are you to God, Jesus? And are you the one who can help us get closer to God too? Because the people in our story are trying to figure out whether they should listen to John or to Jesus. And they want Jesus to explain to them why they should be listening to him instead of someone else. So Jesus answers their question, but his answer is kind of weird. So they say, "Jesus, where are you staying? Teacher, where are you staying?" And Jesus answers them by saying, "Come and see." I wonder if that answer disappointed them. Come and see. What does that even mean? Jesus doesn't explain why people should listen to him instead of John. And he doesn't say bad things about John or that he's better than John. Jesus doesn't even really promise that he can get people closer to God than John. What Jesus says is, come and check it out for yourselves. Come and see. Come and see what I'm all about. So Jesus invites people to find out for themselves how they can be closer to God by being closer to Jesus. And so the people decide to do that. They decide to follow Jesus, to listen to what he has to say about God and God's loving ways. And you know what happens? As they start to follow Jesus and start listening to him, they start to feel closer to God. So I'm going to talk a little bit more to the adults for a couple of minutes, but I'm going to talk to them about what you and I have already talked about. So for the bigger kids in the room, here's what I'd like to say about today's story. The question that Jesus asked is a really important question. Do you remember what it is? Jesus asked, what are you looking for? And that's a question that people wrestle with throughout their lives. Because we spend our lives seeking meaning and purpose and direction. We want to make sense of this one lifetime that we've been given. What is it that you need that God can provide? Can you trust that God listens, that God hears you, that God is with you? It may be tough to have that much trust, because trusting can be hard sometimes, which is why Jesus invites us to come and see. Jesus invites us into a relationship with God and with others who are seeking God too. It's an invitation to be part of a community that works and grows together, kind of like this community. It's not an invitation into community without any doubts or fears or differences of opinion or moments of struggle, but it's an invitation into a community that continues to respond to the call to be God's people in an ever-changing world. So as a community, what are we looking for? Community grows out of relationships. How many of you have other relationships? You have friends, you have family. Yeah, relationships are really important. The people you know that you're related to and you're friends with are really important. And community grows out of those kinds of relationships. We thrive when we're in healthy, nurturing relationships. And we wilt when we're isolated and cut off from relationship with others. If the pandemic has taught us nothing else, it's shown us the cost of being separated from relationships with each other. And that cost is high. We're still experiencing the deep impact that being apart has had on our mental and physical well-being. We're experiencing the deep divides among people in our country that occurs when relationships are fractured. It will take time and care and reconnection to help us heal and move forward as individuals and as communities. Relationship is the key to healing our deep wounds and our deep divides. When we hold space for one another, when we listen, really listen to one another, when we commit ourselves to being present for one another, we build a community grounded in relationship. relationship. Today's gospel reminds us that our faith is relational because relationship is at the heart of what Jesus' ministry is all about. Jesus built a movement centered on how we relate to God and to one another. Relationship is how we draw closer to God and closer to others. It's how we understand and are better able to respond to the needs of the world around us. It is how we are able to bridge differences and build community. Jesus continues to ask each one of us what we're looking for. And then Jesus invites us to come and see how God can help us find that which we seek. So come and see, even if you don't know exactly what it is that you're looking for. Come and see, even if you have questions or doubts or fears. Come and see, even if you're not sure if this is the place for you. Walk this path for a while. Build relationships with those you meet along the way. Come and see if this community is a place that can hold your longing for something more.